Fear defeats more people than any other one thing in the world. How long have you let fear hold you hostage, stopping you from making your impact on the world? Stop playing victim and choose to take your power back today. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use your desire to help others as a tool to overcome any fears holding you back from sharing your unique talents with others. There are no magic cures like poof, voila, and the fear vanishes into thin air. However, I gave myself a very clear visual of the bigger picture that included details for how I wanted to help others versus the details of the fear that was stopping me. Once I saw it on paper, I honestly didn't know whether to cry or laugh. But there was no escaping from it. It was crystal jumping out of the paper from me kind of clear that the only place to go from there was directly into the fear I'd been avoiding for so long. The next day I faced my fear head on and created the YouTube channel that I've been wanting to create for 3 years. I hope anyone watching this will learn from my mistake. Although I wasn't intentionally trying to create a process for others to follow, I decided that if this was the thing that finally got me to take action, I'm sure it could benefit others as well. What better way to start my YouTube journey than sharing how I overcame my fear of doing so? I guess now would be a good time to introduce myself. First, a huge thank you to anyone watching. I'm Sally and I created this channel to help others find their passion and purpose in life, as well as the courage within themselves to pursue it. Before I continue, here's a quick rundown of what I'll be covering in the rest of the video. I'm going to give you some background on fear and how it works in the body, and then a brief overview of why this technique is so effective at getting you to take action. Then I'll guide you through the series of questions you need to answer so you can get full clarity on your own fears and give yourself a visual of the bigger picture, which will allow you to get the courage and strength to finally work past the fear. But first, a quote by John Maxwell. So many people live their lives in fear of what could go wrong, forgetting that what goes right can change everything. So what exactly is this invisible force that we are letting control us? Fear is an emotion. It is triggered by sensory inputs like sounds or sights that we perceive as threatening, even if they're really not. Our nervous system sends a signal to our amygdala, which is the part of our brain that activates our fight or flight response. And once your fight or flight response kicks in, it triggers a cascade of physical reactions. The stress hormones adrenaline and cortisol are released, causing your blood pressure and heart rate to increase, also leading to faster breathing. It's your blood pumping, moving towards your limbs to prepare your body to be able to react quickly in order to survive. The blood flow is restricted to the area of the brain responsible for judgment and reasoning, your cerebral cortex, which is why it becomes so difficult to make good decisions or think clearly and almost impossible to rationalize in the moment at the moment. So even though fear starts in your mind, the physical effects are real and very much needed to help you survive in a truly dangerous situation, like being chased by a bear. However, when you are staring at your camera, trying to get the courage up to press record and make your first YouTube video, unless you have a self-detonating bomb on your camera, the fear you feel is not life-threatening. And in reality, instead of keeping us safe, if we let it, it holds us back from truly living and experiencing the lives our hearts crave, as well as stops us from helping others with our natural talents and abilities. So why not choose to let your desire to help others be greater than your own personal fear? Humans are often more willing to work harder for someone else than they are for themselves. Here are 5 reasons why using your desire to help others can be a very powerful tool to overcoming your fear. Evolutionary psychology, survival of the fittest, basically. Back in our caveman era, humans lived in social groups where people had to work together to survive. If one group helped another group, then in times of need, the groups could count on each other, therefore increasing chances of survival. This is one reason why our brains are wired to care about others. Our brain's neurochemistry is also set up to where acts of kindness trigger the release of dopamine and oxytocin, which create feelings of happiness. It's like getting a reward for being kind. These feelings of happiness reinforce the behavior, making people more likely to help others than focus on themselves. Our brains also contain something called mirror neurons, which fire both when we act and when we see others act. This allows us to feel what others feel, making their struggles or pain feel personal and motivating to us to help them, sometimes at our own expense. Psychological studies also show that humans are conditioned from childhood to value selflessness. There's also something called the self-neglect bias. People will downplay their own needs and care more about other people's problems, basically causing us to ignore our own problems but jump in to help others because it feels more important when we see someone else struggling. So now that you have the background on why this is so powerful, I'm going to let you know that I created a simple one-pager that includes all the questions I'm about to guide you through, and it's attached down below. I encourage you to take a few deep breaths and get yourself really centered and clear your head so that you can put 100% focus on completing this. Knowing that if you put in the time and answer everything as honestly and completely as you can, I truly feel, and it is my hope, that this is the last step you need to complete before you have the courage to face your fear and share your talents with the world. Even if you're not quite ready, at least you'll have a visual to refer back to when you find yourself making excuses. Been there, done that. It does help. So either print the one-page document or grab a blank sheet of paper and draw a line down the center of the page. And on the top right, label that how I can help others. And on the top left, label that one personal fear. Now on the right side, I want you to answer these questions. What skills, talent, message, advice, or experience do I want to share? How do I feel it could benefit others? If there are multiple benefits you believe to be possible, include them all. The more the better. How many people could this potentially help? How many lives could you impact if you move past this? How many people could you help in one day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year? And then how many of those people could then use that knowledge to not only help themselves, but also share it with others in their own personal lives, and so on and so on. And I understand this may not apply to everyone. Maybe your skill or talent has to be experienced one-on-one, but if it is a form of information sharing, the list of people it could impact is exponential. How would helping all of these people make you feel? Grateful? Happy? At peace? Fulfill a sense of purpose? Feel like you are truly making a difference in others' lives? Now, on the left side, answer these questions. What fear has been preventing you from taking action on sharing this with the world? Where is the fear really coming from? What are you really scared of? Being judged by others? Being rejected? What will you have to give up to do this? Be completely honest with yourself and include as much detail as you can to really see the bigger picture. How long have you wanted to share this to help others? Starting with the moment you took action, how much time needs to pass before others could benefit? What actions have you already taken towards overcoming the fear? How much time have you invested trying to lessen the fear? And how much progress have you really made after taking all of the action above, or after just letting all the time pass with no action due to fear? Has the level of fear really gone down? If so, how much? And if it has gone down, does the fear still exist? Are there steps you can take to make it completely disappear? If so, how much additional time is that going to take? How many people have you encountered during this time that could have potentially benefited from your message or skill? How did that make you feel? Sad? Angry with yourself? Beat yourself up internally? Does it make you feel selfish? Does it make you feel out of alignment with who you feel you are in your heart? And how do these feelings compare to the fear you feel when trying to take action? Is it causing you more pain than it would to just take the action despite the fear? Standing ovation for that one. After you answer all of the questions, sit down and truly take the time to evaluate the overall picture and take everything into account. Then lastly, and most importantly, I want you to answer these questions. Is this something I can just walk away from and forget altogether? Can I completely move on with my life knowing that I cannot share this with the world? Could you live with yourself if you were to go your entire life and never take action? If your answer to the last set of questions is anything other than yes, then I believe you know where you need to put your focus. It is my hope that by having a visual of the entire picture, that you can use it to place your attention on how much you and the rest of the world have to gain by you sharing your skills with the world. After completing this exercise for myself, I decided no matter how uncomfortable it makes me or how hard it seems, it is selfish for me to continue to hold back information that I feel in my heart could be useful to others. From this point on, I am directly facing my fears, knowing that fear is simply a feeling and has no power on its own unless I choose to allow it to have power over me. If anyone has watched this far, I hope you will choose to join me and rise above your fear. And knowing that it gets easier over time. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Here's a quick recap. I encourage you to stop thinking so much about yourself. Take a deep breath. Put on your big girl, big boy shoes, or don't put on shoes at all, but step outside of your comfort zone. Place all of your attention and energy on the positive impact you could have on others. Think about how it could change their life, what it could do for them. How amazing is it going to feel knowing you made a difference in their life? How fulfilling is it to follow your heart? How empowering it feels to finally take action you've been avoiding and finally crushing the fear. If anyone has any personal success stories on overcoming fear, please share in the comments. I'd love to see them, and I'm sure others would as well. I'd say go watch another video, but we're not there yet. We're gonna get there.